Hello, I have a different idea for the day. The idea is I'm just gonna review every anime that came out this season. You see, I'm a big anime watcher myself. I figured, you know what? I'll just stream it and edit it down. This is easier when you are speaking with a script. So anyway, yeah, I watch anime. Like I don't just watch anime. I don't watch anime like I see Jujutsu Kaisen and then be like, yeah, I also watch anime. No, I'm nothing like that. I actually watch a ton of anime. I watch the good stuff. I also watch the bad stuff. At least the first few episodes, because for me, I do think that sometimes you kind of have to give a story a little bit of a simmer. Let them simmer, just so that you don't judge the book by its cover. But most of the time, people are kind of correct. But then again, I also found an anime that people going to love so much. But then, surprisingly, I fucking hate it. One of the few anime, yeah, you can already see how low I score this anime. This is one of those where people really like it. And I can see why. But god damn it, I just can't take it. I mean, I still watch it. It's just kind of annoying. The way it progress, like, the story is still interesting. Solo leveling as a plot, I mean, that's a thing with manhwa. They have interesting plot, but they always fell through in other parts. Multiple, not singular. It's kind of annoying when you watch it. Yeah, the story is good, and then the other stuff make you go like, I don't like this part. The part that I'm talking about is actually the character. So the character, because this is a stream, I'm going to try my best to remember everything. We follow Sung Jin-woo, the weakest hunter. He always joins the low level gate, and then he always does the low level job. At one point, Jinwoo and the low-level job team has encountered a very hard dungeon, and then the dungeon requires kind of like a sacrifice, which led him to be the main sacrifice, while the other teammate he has either died or run away from him. From then on, like the way everything is built, the animation, the story, how it goes so fucking hard. Like they don't fuck around. I think the manhwa as well, you get into the second chapter and then you were just like, oh holy shit, it's happening. It just ramps up, at least for the first episode. See, that's one other problem that I need to talk about. But after that, he actually managed to get the second dungeon conquered, like the challenge conquered, and then he receives a gift from the gods, which allows him to level up and kind of makes him so much stronger than before he leveled up. Damn, doing this on stream is making my brain go poo-poo. The problem I have with his character after that is that for the first time it's kind of interesting because he's not exactly naive, but he is what you would call, you know how you humble you are because you know your weakness. That's how he is. He understands his weakness. He understands where he should compromise and how to help others. But then after he levels up, like only I think on the second or the third episode, he just immediately, not only he changed his physique, he also changed his character. Like you just skip a character arc, and I don't mean a character arc like just a time skip. No, a time skip is actually alright to me as long as they make sense. Like One Piece, yeah, it happens, you know, One Piece, Naruto, but at least they still have their characters. That's the problem I have with this anime. On just that one point alone is inconsistent, and it kind of break my immersion. So the other thing that I need to talk about, shit, I forgot. Can I rewind the stream? You know what, if I don't remember it, maybe it's not that important. Editor Naka here. I'm continuing where I forgot. So the story ramps up only in the first episode. It's heavy thematically, and they don't cut back on the violence as well, which is great. But after that, with this type of manhwa story, they forgot that some character arcs need to be built up. So from one chapter flag to another, it felt like there was a gap that we're missing. Suddenly the character got this ability, and sometimes they do address it badly. Like, oh look, ability stone, yoink, I got this ability out of nowhere now. It's like the writer just wants to write cool characters doing cool shit on a cool story, but forgot or ignored the path to where that coolness came from. Guts didn't start becoming a black swordsman from the get-go. That's why the Golden Age arc is still so good. Same with Thorfinn or Musashi. Okay, next up, welcome to the classroom of the elites. I don't watch this because I do watch the first season, and while the story is interesting, it's about how there is like this class who is kind of being seen as the weakest class, but all of them are like kind of nuts in their own way. And then this guy, I think, is the mastermind who kind of connects everything and brings their abilities to fruition. However, the things that happen in this anime is so slow. Also, the art style is very generic. So I got bored out of the first season, so I just stopped. This one I actually watched, Marshall. So Marshall is about this world that is the world of magic, and our main character doesn't have magic. So you're guessing that he is going to be in a very overpowered character. Yeah, exactly. But the way that they tell how overpowered he is by he gets strong not because of some other magic like Asta from Black Clover. No, not like that. That's playing the game with the game's rule. He breaks the rule. He just beats magic with his own muscle. It's to the point where he can fly by kicking the air around him. It's kind of dumb. It's so dumb. It's like the first season of One Punch Man, which is great. And the second season, it's improved upon. They amped up the plot. Like the things are happening more quickly now. And from the first season, I think it's not that fast. Like they still show how people live in the dorm, like how the students deal with the magic school and the stuff. It's still interesting, but I do think this takes the cake. The second season, there is a lot more things happening each episode, each week. I just kept wanting to know more. Yeah, this anime, great. Oh yeah, I forgot to rate the solo leveling, either 5-star or 6-star. Marshall would be easily 8. This I also watch. This is another isekai, which is surprising to me. Sometimes isekai can be so bad, or it's good. It never reaches the point where it's super great. This anime is just good. Easily 8. Okay, let me explain why. So the first season, you thought it's an isekai. They would go follow the hero being summoned, and then the hero must destroy the evil. No, the hero, this guy, the main character, actually just got ignored or dumped by the goddess. So he kind of got pissed off, and then he recruit a lot of powerful character, but the powerful characters are not all female. That's the good thing, number one. And the second one, they're not humans. The goddess in this world is like she like humans like a lot. She's kind of racist towards anyone that isn't a human. That's what's happening here. The humans got a lot more blessing, while the demi-humans, like the other stuff, monsters, dragons, or all the other races, are receiving a lot more bad things. So that's one thing for the lore, which will be important later, because you know what, I think I won't spoil the first season. This anime is actually interesting enough for those who want to watch it. So yeah, he befriends a lot of non-humans, and he kind of just lives. If I were to compare this anime, it would be very similar to the slime anime. I'm being reincarnated as a slime, except this guy is still human, and this guy cannot speak the language of a human, so he can only speak to other races. And then because of how ugly he is, quote unquote ugly, he always got mistaken as a monster. Eventually though, because he kept meeting powerful characters, he also becomes so much powerful. See, the one thing that I don't like about reincarnation as a slime is it takes so long for things to happen. This anime, they immediately went into action. He got pissed off, and then he just went, you know what, fine, fuck it, I'll create my own stuff. And then there are also things happening in the background where he kind of got roped, and almost all the fights, although like he's the powerful character, it's always end up being more interesting, because he doesn't always get out of the fights unscathed. Also, it's kind of nice seeing the prideful one getting knocked down by some random guy, and then they were just like, oh, how could it be? Yeah, that kind of formula never miss with me. On to the next one, Dungeon Machine. This is an easy one. This is easily an 8, or maybe a 9, 8.5 maybe. Dungeon Machine is very interesting because, hello Dino, where was I? The starting point is just a normal dungeoning party, and then things kinda got turned from there. The team kinda got beaten up by a dragon, and then one character got eaten by a dragon. The rest of the team is trying to get the other party member back, which is going back through the layers of dungeon. I think 2 characters kinda dropped off because of course they don't want to fight a dragon. They're going to lose again. So there is only like three of them, until they meet this other character when they are very hungry. And then this other character, this new character, they can cook. They can cook Jesse. So the story will be about them going through the dungeon, trying to save the other party member while also trying out monsters being cooked as a food. It sounds stupid, I know, but it's actually a lot more interesting because the way they explain the food, the cooking, yeah, that's like Shokugeki no Soma kind of shit. But the other interesting part is how they present the story. The story that follows up behind the meshi, the eating, is actually kind of interesting because they follow it with the lore, background, the background of each characters, and then they also show how the dynamic of the party actually works. Like this big guy, of course, he's going to be the normal soldier or knight kind of thing. He's good with weapons, he is smart, he has his stuff, he knows his stuff, especially about monster, the taste of monster. This little guy, he is very good with unlocking locks, with traps and whatnot. So whenever there is like a locked doors or a room full of trap, he is the one that comes in. This one's a mage. And then, yeah, she's just a mage. A mage is kind of important in any party, so that's that. And then the fourth guy, this is the cook. And although that sounds like it doesn't really explain the party's character, their character do hit off each other. This guy is kind of like the most neutral one. The knight is kind of like the crazy one, like, this is a monster, yum yum. While the other counterpart of him is the mage girl, is like always skeptical whenever there is a cook going on because she doesn't want to eat monster, obviously. While the fourth guy is like, he doesn't show his emotion much, but he gets excited when cooking, like excited. He gets angry. So yeah, Dungeon Meshi is an 8 for me. I think I already watched like Yubisoke Torrenren. This might sound surprising, but I do watch romance anime. So the interesting about this part, oh shit, a 9. Okay, let me remember why I gave it a 9. So Yubisake Torrenren it's a normal love story, but the main character, the main girl, is disabled. She cannot hear. Even with the hearing aid, it's bad. It's basically just a normal love story between the main character and the main male protagonist. How do the Fujoshis call them? So the character is, I wouldn't say she is timid. She's more like honestly naive. She knows her things, she knows her weakness, and it's being shown in the show as well how it affects her. Not being able to hear, not by much. Like, this is not Koe no Katachi, by the way. This is like another thing entirely. This is just like, what if a romance anime but the main character is deaf? And it kind of works because the romance is great. The story kind of picks up a lot. Like, should I spoil this? No, I think I won't, but it does picks up a lot because the other character, the main guy, is like, he is very very forward with his feelings. There is like a back and forth of the cute stuff happening between the guy, which doesn't give space for her to breathe, while her being the first time falling in love, she also doesn't mind that much. The spoiler that I'm talking is that the ending is kind of like they are dating. You kind of expect it would be like that in the last episode, but they kind of the dating part is kind of fast. Let's move on from this anime. This anime is great, 9 out of 10. Matosei no Slave. Oh no, not this one. This one kind of suck. I think I will rate this 3. So the reason why this is suck, from the first episode, they're trying to make a new unique world, which is fine. And then the world is like, I think if I remember correctly, there is like monsters, and the only way for humanity to defeat the monsters is by employing girls. So the girls are like special, I guess. And then this other guy, which is, I think he's inspired by the girl squad. So he wants to help, and then suddenly one day he got roped into this other world, this monster world, and then he got saved by one of the girls. And then the girl's power is turning something into a slave, but with multiplied power. So you already guess where this is going. This is a sadomaso story. So the girl make the boy a slave, and then the boy turned into a stronger monster, which defeats the other monster. The last moment of the first episode is basically just like the main guy. The main guy cannot go back to his previous life, so he has to join the dorm with the girls. and it turned into a harem. That's why. So it's just yeah, it's just an ecchi basically. Oh, this is another romance anime. Thankfully, I watched this until I think it's 11 episode now. I'm going to rate it 9 as well. So the story is, it might turn off some people for the first season. First season is like, this guy is very edgy. You know how you would act if you're a third grader trying to act cool? That's this guy. It's very awkward, it's very cringy. We're kind of tackling why he became like that, and how because of the support of his friends he kind of become a little bit normal. Basically the first season is that, and this main girl is actually the one that kind of helped him, drag him out of his shell. He's still a bit weird trying to act cool, but it's not as cool as edgy as before, as trying to become an anime character. Now he's just like a bit timid, but he's much better now. And the second season is actually just between the both of them, the romance story, how they both trying to tell each other how they love each other. It's very nice. I think I don't need to speak any more about this. This is basically just a cool stuffed romance story about the two, where they try to show each other's their feeling while trying to hide it from the normal people, because normal people be normal people. They're going to like a wink nudge at you. Hey, editor Naka again. I forgot to say I don't like the first season that much, and by extension this season as well, because sometimes they have over-sexualized jokes. Not even the over-sexualization itself, it's just the joke. You know how grade schooler joke about gender and sex and stuff? It's basically that level of joke. Boobies! Some character do become annoying too because of that. Like, they cannot think with anything other than their dicks, but they are minor characters. That's a pun. It's very childish romance. Now this is action. Chiumaho. So about this anime is basically an isekai. These three people in front is basically being transferred into another world, a fantasy world, and then they got a normal power, except the main guy. The main guy got healing power, which brings him to a squad where they are all about healers. The problem is, the healer in this version isn't some WMPS. They don't become like doctors sitting on the sideline. It's like medical soldier, where they go into the front line. That's the squad that he got assigned to, and then he has to train so hard on that. The show is basically a progress from him being a normal guy into a soldier that is a medic soldier that trains so hard. But other than that, the plot is basically just another guy got sent into another world. Guy is very strong, guy beats enemy. So that's a normal 7 out of 10, because the execution of this anime is basically better than a lot of isekai anime, which is, they kind of just forces you to understand, while this anime kind of takes its time to speak about the progress, which is kind of nice. It's always nice when they take time to establish things, but it does get pretty tiring when you kind of expect what's coming, because of course he won. No way he loses. That's the kind of stuff this anime does. This is kind of disappointing. This is another romance anime, but so from my friend, I've been hearing that this is actually supposed to be a wholesome romance about the girl and a boy. He got transferred into a backwater village, quote unquote backwater village. It's supposed to be a wholesome anime, but yeah, it kind of shows some moment where they are wholesome. They just met each other and then they hit off. How the boy being felt very welcomed by the girl, but then you could already see from the art on here, it turned into an ecchi anime very quick, because the girl has big bedonkus, and then they just pull in a little naughty shot around her. We also been given the mind of the boy, which is like, oh no, she's very hot, which is not my type. I don't like when things go very over sexualized. Like, romance is fine, but sexualization is kind of boring to me. Like, it's not bad if people want to watch it, but I don't find it enjoyable. 3, maybe 4. It could have been good. Oh shit, another action. I don't know how to feel about this. Oh no, never mind. I rated 6 from what I recall, because this is like the third season. This is going to be a bit long in me recalling things. So the story is basically about this main guy. Rin is basically like he used to live a normal life until I think he burned down a place which is supposed to be his home, and then he kind of found out that turns out the world has demons in it, and surprisingly, he is one of the offspring of the main demon lord. I think the name is Satan. The problem is he cannot control his power, and now he also now knows the real realm that a demon exists. The choice is either he got locked up, I think, either that or he became a demon hunter himself, which is more or less like Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, this is basically Jujutsu Kaisen before it's cool. The story goes on from there, and I kind of forgot the other part. The third season is basically telling a story about him, the whole gang, trying to save this girl, which is kind of an annoying character because the girl is the type of girl that is one, tsundere, which I already don't like, and two, it's not the normal type tsundere, it's actually the abusive tsundere where they think they are always right and then they cannot trust other people. They only trust themselves, which makes it a problem because when people want to help her because she doesn't trust the other people, she actually the one that tracks them down. That's why this anime is at 6. Her character is so annoying to me that I don't bother anymore except for finishing the story, which I think if there is like a fourth season, I don't think I will continue it. But yeah, it's a 6. I think that's alright, simply because the main story, like the first and second season, it's fine because it's about him trying to find his way. Like it's very shonen, it's very action as well, how he tries to use his power to fight and protect the people that he loves, you know, the kind of stuff, which always works. But again, with this kind of anime, the character is usually the one that drops, and this particular arc, the girl is actually kind of annoying. So yeah,
5
out of 10. I think I'm being too good for this. 6 out of 10. Gee. Now this one I actually like. First thing first. Oh, 8, very good. I think it's actually very close to 9. First thing first, this anime, this could have been great because the animation kinda suck. It just kinda looks like slideshow. You know how when people try to make it cheap? This is that anime. This is supposed to have action, but it's just like slideshows now, which is kind of disappointing because the story actually slaps. So the story is about a world with witches inside, and witch is like the people who holds power, like very close to godlike. And witches a lot of times are bad people, but sometimes they are good. It depends. But the interesting part about this is it doesn't set in the fantasy medieval world. It's set in very closer to modern era, and then it combines that with the world building of magic. The story is basically about them trying to solve cases including with magic, which always ends up them needing to fight. And then because there is so many things behind the lore, like who is the witches, or what other type of witches, what other type of magic exists. Even the main character is very weird, very interesting. So she's being cursed into a girl, and the way she breaks off the curse is there is like 3 ways for you to break off a witch curse, which is one, the witch forgives them, and then the other 2 I forgot, which is kind of not important because there is a secret rule where if you kiss a witch, you can cancel the curse. So the way she fights is she kiss a witch, but that might sound like a Yuri, but it breaks the curse, which unlocks her real body, which is like this very weaponized man, very anti-magic. Like I said, the story and the action is supposed to be cool. The magic itself also supposed to look cool. Like let me look for a panel for the magic. This is it. Monster design 101, very cool. I think this is like the first chapter as well, and they kind of cut it short in the anime, which is kind of disappointing. The story is still good, like I said, but yeah, there is a lore to the magic. It's not like just very simple, Leviosa, and then things starts to move around. There is like background into it. I'm not saying Harry Potter is bad, but yeah, 8 out of 10. Very good, very cool, very nice. Oh, I also watched this. This is another romance anime, but it's one of the better ones. So the story is about this girl is the main girl. She kind of got unlucky, and so she is a royalty, and then she got divorced by her husband. Came out of nowhere, and then she found a new things to do. She found a new stuff, and then she ended up dying, and then she ended up being reincarnated again. It kept looping. She kept having a different life each time, and then on her 7th loop, her current life is actually about her marrying the guy who always ends up being her murderer. And then they actually hit off because she has lived like 6 lives. She has so many skills, so that kind of interests the previous murderer, which is kind of makes her like surprised that the murderer is actually like a prince, and the prince actually take interest in her and wanting her to become his bride. And she doesn't deny the offer. She kind of always want to live a different life each time she got reincarnated. And because of that, she has a lot of experience in many things, in business, in medicine, being a doctor, being a maid as well. And she kind of does all of that stuff and kind of surprise each person, not just the main character, not just the main prince. Like, she met the people that she met on her previous life that doesn't know her, which is kind of sad when you think about it again. But she tries to make a connection with them again, a new connection, which never happens before. Yeah, it's basically just a story about her turning their expectation upside down. Like, they all thought, oh, it's a royalty girl, she's probably not going to survive, but she's actually like very smart, very cool, very strong, and always suffers everyone's expectation. The formula is kind of simple, but it kind of works. I think it's an alright anime. An 8 out of 10 for me. I think because it follows a very specific formula. It's basically just about her trying to make best of her current life by utilizing her previous knowledge, which includes knowing where the plot is going. Oh, I also dropped this. The story is actually pretty interesting as a setup. I'm going to scroll down because I'm afraid it's going to ban me. So it's basically about Mahou Shoujo, magical girls. And then this main character is like, she likes magical girl, but she got recruited by the evil corporate. And then instead of fighting with the magical girl, she's fighting against the magical girl, which is as a setup, I think it's fine. We've had good versus evil, but the character doesn't really portray that kind of things sometimes. But the twist here is that not only do they not know each other from the first episode, I think, at least, but it's also an ecchi anime. So the way the evil corporation or the main character does her thing is by humiliating the Mahou Shoujo, like tickling them, stripping them. Listen, like, I don't mind ecchi in the show, but if they push too hard on it, or if that's like the whole sketch, I'm gonna pull out of that. So which is why I dropped this anime. I don't think I am qualified enough to rate this because I don't know. People have been saying it is good. I don't want to rate it if there is like still good things happening after, because I'm pretty sure from the animation is great. I'm pretty sure there is like more to come. I just can't handle too much sexualization. I also forgot to mention, I don't like a story where the character is being forced to do something they don't want to do. In this case, it is exactly like getting scammed to sign off a wafer to sell your soul. Tomosaki-kun, I don't watch this. I watched the first season, like a few episodes, and I don't like it. The story is basically about the main guy who is very timid, shy, and very like beta character. Doesn't like to go off with people, and then he kind of met with the girl, asked him, do you want to live like this or do you want to change? And then they go to a journey through change. I think, I don't know, the story kind of fuddled up. This is basically an isekai, which is the main character got sent into a story. The story is basically very similar to this, where she got reincarnated into another world where she knows what the story is going to be about, but she is the villain of the story. The story is basically about her trying to find her new life without being able to be defeated, try to steer the story. The difference is, this thing is interesting because people actually like her. Her character is funny, is cute, it's almost borderline annoying, but it's not really there yet. But this character, she's actually annoying because she has no tech, she doesn't understand the social construct, and most of the time the misunderstanding is on her part. Like, she is the one that creates misunderstanding. So there is a reason why the story is basically her still being hated or feared instead of being loved, like this story, which is another thing to keep in mind about this anime. So yeah, 3 out of 10, very bad. I still hate it. But surprisingly, I watch it into the latest episode. The only reason why I still watch it is because with this kind of stupid anime, I do want to see the ending usually. Like, oh, are they going? How are they going to resolve this? It's very cheap. I know they're playing on my own weakness, but it fucking works. Oh, moving on to an interesting one. this is not an isekai. This is a normal adventure dungeon. So basically, it's a story about adventurer. And adventurer has ranks. You know, the stuff. This guy is like a low rank, not a very low rank, just a low rank. But he tries to become the highest rank adventurer. But suddenly he got eaten by a dragon, and then he got turned into an undead. He trying to survive as an undead first, so he doesn't return to his village because he's scared. He knows how much of a big deal it is for him to turn into an undead, and because of that, he kind of just trained into in the dungeon until he finally finds a form evolving into a form that is a lot more human undead, you know, like a zombie or ghoul. So the interesting about this anime is not that stuff. Like the plot is very adventuristic. It just happens for the sake of the plot. It just happens. But the interesting part is the dynamic between him and and the character around him, because you would think with this kind of anime that is like he's going to be very strong and then people are going to mock him, or people are going to, you know, that kind of stuff, the prideful stuff where the antagonists have this much pride and then got humbled down. But this anime isn't like that actually. Almost every person has their own goals, has their own character. Some people are scared, skeptical of him, but they are good people. Like it is understandable where they are coming from, why they are scared or fearful. But once they hit each other, because they are of good-natured people, like the main character is also good-natured. I forgot to tell you about that. He is one of the adventurer that always helps newbies. So once he and the other person hits up, like they talk, they ended up becoming good friends. It's basically just a feel good story about people trying to help each other even though the other person isn't a human anymore. The story builds up slowly and then building trust, and then there is also like it's going to be like, this is going to be spoiling a bit. So he has a blacksmith where he used to go into when he was alive, but because he's undead, he cannot reveal his character. Then he just hide it, and then once he was done from the blacksmith actually surprisingly already have a guess, an inkling that like this is most likely the guy that we know, but he doesn't tell us about it. So he must have his reason. So we're going to let him go find his own reason until he can trust us. So yeah, it's basically a feel good story about people helping each other in an adventuring world. So anyway, this anime, good anime. I don't think it deserves being an 8. It's 7 out of 10, but it could easily be an 8 because the story is, I still haven't gotten bored or disappointed so far with the story. Ninja Kamui, this is easily a 9. I watched like 4 episodes so far and it's so great each time. Synopsis, he is a ninja and he ran away from his shinobi clan for the sake of creating a new family that he fell in love to. The shinobi code doesn't allow that, and he is being hunted down, and then his family being killed. So it's basically a story about John Wick ninja. He just tries to find revenge in the people that tries to kill him and his family. And the action sequence is actually very cool as well. The ninja, the techniques, and the one interesting part about this, again, this story is being set in a future, like in the cyborg era, the era of AI kind of stuff. So he's a classic ninja with ninjutsu kind of stuff, fighting off cyborg beings. And again, have I said the action is actually kind of cool? Yeah, this is easily a 9. It might go lower later since this is not the full season as well. But yeah, this is such a great anime. Oh, this is one of the surprising thing. I kept watching this until this is episode 10, but this doesn't go more than 3 star. I think it's even 2 star. So the story is basically about this guy and this girl, which is being isekai again. The isekai is kind of the normal stuff. People mock them, berate them, they feel higher than them, while turns out this guy has the ability to insta-kill everyone by thinking about it. And it's not the kind of cool stuff like a revenge anime where the antagonists were begging like, oh no, please, I didn't know you were this strong, and then the protagonist kind of like do a revenge to show them who's the boss. No, it's not like that kind of story. He just instantly killed them. So that's why the formula is basically the same all over. Every time he met a character, the character puts him down, mock him, and then he was like, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, another thing about this story that is kind of bad is his character. His character is the type of character that is very neutral, no emotion at all, not even fear, anger, nothing. When he wants to kill, he just bam, that's it, they are dead. Another thing about this story that is kind of bad is the way they present it. They try to make it funny, like play it off as a comedy. What's it called? The Japanese comedy where there is like a straight person and then there is two types of person. That's why there is two character. But the comedy doesn't hit that hard, especially when the main story is kind of this bad. So yeah, 2 out of 10. Still watch it though. Damn, I kept watching the bad anime. This one is interesting because I don't watch it. I'm pretty sure I watched the first season, the first episode. The reason why I don't watch it is because the story, I kind of see it from a mile away. Guy got turned down from his main party because he is, you know, useless, and then turns out when he is alone, he was pretty strong, and then probably it hits off going to be like the main party. He finds a new party and then he finds a new truth, like probably is going to be very similar to Shield Hero. The next one is also good, Metallic Rouge. I don't think it's 8 though. I think it's a 7. The main thing of the story is basically about a futuristic world where it kinda asks the same question about AI, the theme of where do you start the freedom of thought and the freedom of action. It's basically about AI finding their own freedom of self, basically. But the interesting part about this anime is because they kind of bring the theme into an action-packed show. On top of that, there is a lot of more lore, a lot of plot that is going on in the background. Like, we aren't being given the main reason, the main theme right away. At first, it was just a cool stuff that is happening, and then she kind of starts to question her own ideals later, like, why is she being told this? And then we kind of ask the same question, well, why was she killing people? It's kind of like out of order, the kind of stuff that is being questioned. Some of the sum is becoming a lot more confusing, but mainly I think that's the only problem this anime had, is that they have a great plot point in mind, but it's so out of order that it's kind of confusing to follow. Because if it were being ordered a little bit more better, like, I think that would be pretty good if we don't go this long and then she only starts to doubt herself later on. And then another thing why this anime is kind of weird is the way they just slap some important plot point, just drop it off like that, fucking drop a bombshell, like, oh, you know, turns out I'm like a very strong component of this story, like, turns out I'm the big evil antagonist, didn't I tell you? So yeah, I can understand why it's only a 6. The first episode such a banger though. Oh, 2 drop anime, oh my god. Oh, I watched this one. I'm surprised people don't like it. Actually, I'm not surprised. Kekkon Yubiwa is basically about a guy being transformed again, and then he got his power from a wedding ring. So yeah, he has to get wed, go into a marriage. There is a lot of ecchi, a lot of harem as well. You can already see how many girls. But yeah, he's being sent into for saving the world by marrying people. It's kind of weird. I don't even want to rate this one. Also, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? The story about the marrying is actually kind of interesting. He met a girl. They were like Osana Najimi, basically childhood friends, until they become teenagers, and then suddenly the girl tell him that she will come back to her real world. Yeah, she's actually got isekai into this world. He actually followed her into the other world. You know, stuff happens. This one is kind of surprising. It's supposed to be interesting. There is a background war going on between the demons and the angels. Each faction is trying to achieve a way to undermine the other. So they go to human world to find a secret power, I think, or a secret person that are able to guide them. The demon guy actually don't know this girl is an angel because he shows his weakness, he shows his openings. He got scammed into signing a contract with the angel girl, and so he kind of became a slave for her, which is kind of like already a negative point for me. I don't like that kind of dynamic between master slave character. But then the weird thing again, the dynamic actually is not there immediately after that, because they are trying to one up each other, and it works. So the guy trying to be cool while the girl trying to be cute, and then in their mind it was like, oh shit, they are cool / cute, so I must resist or else I will become theirs forever. So yeah, 5 out of 10. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't like it. Oh, Ishura is an interesting one. I think this is easily a 7 for me. Might be an 8 as well. So the story is basically about, there is a demon king before that threatens the peace of the world, and then the demon king kind of gets defeated, but no one knows who defeats it. So then they kind of have to pick a hero so that people will have a hero that they can worship the thing is, in this world, I think there is 12 people who are very strong. They all have the power to defeat the Demon King. The problem is, we don't know which one of them has the power to defeat the Demon King. That might sound like it's going to be just a fighting anime, but there is actually like a politic lore behind it. There is like two countries that is at war. Each country has their own heroes. They can pit against each other, and basically it's still fighting in a open free for all war kind of thing, where this faction is fighting against that faction. The interesting part is the war doesn't seem to really show good versus bad kind of thing, so it's basically just a normal war. Yeah, the story is actually not that great narratively, but it's just a politic, and then the action is actually the one that is interesting, because each character is different from the power. One guy is very good with sword, that he can literally fight with a rusty sword, while the other literally cannot die, which is kind of cheating. So yeah, it's a 7 out of 10 simply for the action alone. Pitting two great action sequence, great power against each other is always make my mind go, oh, shiny. This anime deserves the 5 actually. I still kind of surprised that people like this more than the other stuff like Ishura. Ishura is very action oriented, it's very fun. This story is about another isekai, but it's not a normal isekai. It's the type of isekai where you can go back and forth into the world. So this guy, he was planning to adopt it as a pet. Turns out the pet is actually a secret mage, and then he got the power, he became very strong, and then you already know where it goes from there. But the interesting thing about this anime is it doesn't really push too much into the power fantasy. It's more like politic, economy, marketing, trading kind of fantasy, where he is trying to make money out of these people, a different type of people from different era. So he just kind of like becoming a trader. At some point it does sound interesting. That is until you realize what is being at stake here. Have you seen this poster alone? You will understand there is so many girls in one shot. You might thinking, oh, is this a harem? Yes, it is. He has a harem of little girls. Now, I'm not one to mock people for their preference. However, it does kind of make it weird, where it's very clear that this guy literally doesn't want anything to do with the other girls. And the girls are like just there. Some of the girls is very upfront about their likeness to him. I really hope it's not romantic, because I haven't finished it. As you might see, I only watched 8 episodes and I dropped it, mainly because it's an anime about trading, right? About deals, discuss negotiation. Some of these deals became worse because of some of the things that the girls that are interested in him, which is why it's kind of annoying to me that why do they exist? Why do these characters exist when it's not necessarily important? But still, the trading part is actually interesting. Another weird thing is actually about how this guy is actually fucking strong now, because he met the bird. The bird gave him so many powers. Sure, he can flaunt his power off like a power hungry character, but he doesn't. That's a good thing, but he doesn't use it anyway. He only uses it when his life is in danger, which doesn't happen a lot, because he always sits down in negotiation instead of fighting. It's kind of annoying to me that he cannot sell his power. Like his strength in magic is actually one part of his assets, and he doesn't sell it. And I thought he's like a trader or something. Yeah, it's a 5. Buchigiri, it's only a 6.9. I do think this is actually very good. This anime is supposed to be about action, right? So he goes back to his hometown, and the hometown is basically filled with like delinquents, Tokyo Revengers, that kind of delinquent. You know, they fight. There is blood. He's a weak guy. He doesn't want anything to do with fighting. He's a coward as well, so he always runs away. He is very annoying as a character. And then the another part that is annoying about his character, he only cares about getting laid. He tries to win over this girl, which already shows how much she hates him. But he cannot think with anything other than his dick. The cool fighting stuff that is happening around, I think, should be the main point here. The main character is just so annoying, disappointing to root. It doesn't change at all. He is very selfish, and it's very annoying to see selfish character being the main selling point of the show. The good thing about this show is they don't slice it off like, oh, it's just a quirk of the character. No, they show how disgusting he will go. I'm pretty sure the creator knows, like, yeah, he's such a bad character. Let's just get it over with. Let's make him so despicable, and they did. The more interesting part of the story is about the fighting and the background. So there is like faction fighting, there is like street fighting, and then from behind that there is actually a secret power behind the street fighting, which is being called a honky power, honky people. And the honky is basically this red guy and this blue guy. The red guy unluckily get inside this main character, which is why this character is so popular in the fighting scene. Even though it's not his power, he literally borrows the power of the red guy, but he managed to almost always wins the battle. I don't think he ever lost, which is why the people around him, the people who likes to fight, flocks to him, including his childhood friend who thinks he is very strong, but he isn't. He's just borrowing the power of trying to win the heart of this main girl, and this main girl really hates him. I also doesn't like the main girl because she's trying everything that she can for her own sake, for her own goal. She's also very selfish, at least her selfishness is still based on another person, and she also understands other people. This main guy, he doesn't care if his friend got beaten up or got stabbed. He doesn't care. He just cares about getting late. Like literally, I'm not even mincing my word. Even to the latest episode, he's still like that. He's very annoying. Still 8 out of 10. I don't know if I were to like it or not. That's why the 5. This anime is basically another isekai, but she just knows she was born from another world. She only carries the knowledge of, no, not even the knowledge, like the character. So there is like 2 person inside one body. Although this is an isekai, the character that they created is still a young kid-like character. They are still naive to the world, honest to boot. So the reason why this is interesting, it doesn't hold back from the first episode. In this world, there is like level into the skill, right? And then her skill is basically becoming a tamer, but is level 0. Because it's level 0, her family on this world just despise her. The villager is trying to kill her, trying to sacrifice her for the god. The story is basically about her meeting people who are nice to her, and then she cannot find trust in them yet. It's kind of annoying because she doesn't know how to value herself. It hits home very, very close. The antagonists or the villains, it's kind of like open book, like, oh yes, these people are evil because they are evil. There is no clash of themes, there is nothing deep like that. It's just a story about a little girl who tries to find trust again in the world, even though like most of the people she met actually like a good person. Although I kind of like that they level it up with some bad people as well. The only reason why I don't too fond of this anime is because, again, the character could have grown far more quickly. Even until now, she is still very timid. I turn it into the sick because, yeah, it's kind of boring, but it's alright. It's not the best anime out there, I think. Especially the plot is kind of boring. It's kind of just there. Like I said, it's just her meeting new people, and then new people being kind, and then there is like a bad guy. New people help her all getting out of the bad guy. For now, she's still on the journey like that. There is nothing much. This anime is actually pretty interesting. I think I will rate this a 6 as well. It's not as bad as the previous one, but this one is basically an almost episodic comedy anime. The comedy is basically in the setting, so it's kind of like an evil organization, and there is the Rangers, and then this guy is the leader of the evil organization. But the story follows him in his day off, in his holidays, and then he has a hobby of pandas, like everything about panda he likes. So this anime relies heavily on the comedy of the Gap Moe, but sometimes they also edit more, because apart from being the leader of the evil organization, he's actually very understanding and very kind. Like there is these 2 kids who lost, and then he just helps them, which is kind of funny. They are enemies, by the way. Same with this guy. This guy is also enemies with the main guy, but he is so very easily lost. And then they also met on the day off, and then they were like, oh, actually, can we not do this today? I'm still on my holiday. And then the other guy was like, okay, you cool, you alright. Yeah, I do like some comedy, but although the comedy doesn't hit that hard, it's just a nice change of pace. Apart from anything, it's kind of slow. The anime is slow, very slice of life as well. Gekai Alice is one of the more interesting part as well. I wouldn't rate it 7 though. I think I would rate it 6 or 5 because, one, the animation, and two, the story isn't really that great. It's basically an isekai of an isekai. So basically, this girl was once a very bad empress, the one that rules with an iron fist, that is very selfish, and then actually brings doom to the whole country, the whole kingdom. And then she got persecuted, she dies, and then on her second life, she was like, oh shit, I did wrong. And then she tries to make amends by becoming a doctor. She is being very helpful on the second life, which is our real world, and then she got isekai back into her first world. So it's basically like a double isekai, and then the story basically follows the same formula of the normal villainies, which is they are supposed to be like very hated and stuff, but then turns out she has changed suddenly, and people were like okay with it. It happens a lot with this kind of anime, especially when they don't address it. But the interesting thing about this one formula is they try to make the character good by not only giving them a good character, like a kind-hearted kind of stuff, but they also make her a doctor. So being a doctor is hard. I think we all know that. When their family suddenly hear about this sudden change, when such a selfish person before, and then she suddenly wants to become a doctor, they were like, oh my god, what happened to you? She got a test, be tested on a very secluded hospital, and the hospital is kind of rough. Instead of being as expected, she doesn't give up. In fact, she actually make the hospital looks better. Not only that, because this is an isekai, of course, the formula of isekai, she always perform doctor things, surgery, always perform that at tip top level. So people always being impressed at her skill. It's still follows the same isekai formula, where people being overpowered and then the others are either being impressed or being shocked. The only reason why I stick this long is because the plot, like it's a typical manhwa doesn't have that great of a execution usually, from my experience, because this anime is actually came from a manhwa. I read like 100 chapters, and then I dropped it because I kind of understand where the story is going from there. Even though that, I still do think it's pretty interesting how they try to twist the formula, and that's why I want to see how they would manage to turn the formula on its head. Like what's the end goal here? That's what I'm interested about. Is it romance? Is it just her trying to become a doctor, or is it a strategy? But yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. This one I dropped very early on, but not in the first episode. I dropped it in the third episode. I think this is even worse. Like, this is bad. So it's basically another isekai. God damn, there is so many isekai. The story is basically about girl being isekai'd, and she's being given a skill by the god who isekai'd her. She was given a gift. The god asked, what does she want as a gift? What skill does she want? She just choose that she wants to be friendly with the fluffy things. That's the name of the anime, that's why. Fluffy Paradise. Basically, that's all she wants. So, she's being given a skill to be loved by non-human beings. She even befriends a dragon, which is very surprising to almost all people there. She's a royalty, so when it happens, she was kind of like being expected as the holy person. An isekai that kind of twists the formula again, where instead of being super powerful, they just turn the super powerful into actual power that lets her become friendly with the holy beings, like dragons or white tigers. I don't think there is anything much, because there is no action, only about a girl trying to befriend fluffy things, and then people are getting like, oh my god, she's befriending this very difficult to befriend being. Oh my god, she's like a genius or something kind of stuff. There is like a little politic, very surface level politic as well. Like, we need to change her into a holy saint person. But it's happening in the background, and I dropped it after the third episode because it doesn't pick up the story. I mean, it's just about her meeting new animal. So yeah, that's about it. Oh, I watched 2 episodes. You already know the synopsis from the title of the story. The strongest tanks, Labyrinth Raids, a tank with a rare knife. So after he got kicked, he goes back to his village, trying to live back with his sister and a new girl that he founds on the road. And so far, I think that's all the story from episode 1 and 2. Also, he kind of understands after that why he is being kicked out. They thought he was being weaker because his shield got reduced when fighting, when nothing is happening, but turns out it's not because he was getting weaker, it's because he has unlocked a new skill, which is kind of like aura shield, which protects the people even though he isn't standing in front of them to be defending. That's that. I don't think there is anything else that I can talk about it. I only watched 2 episodes of it. Hime sama Gomon is another interesting one. I like it, I mean. 8? I don't think it's 8 though now. I think it's a 7. The reason why it's a 7, it's basically I'm a sucker for comedy anime. This anime is basically a comedy. It's not that funny, but it's just fun. It's not funny, it's just fun. And I don't mind that. It's basically a princess, quote unquote princess. She's actually very closer to being a knight because she's always in front of a battle. But she got captured by the demon army. She's now being held there so she can spill the secret. How do the demon army make her spill her secret, you might ask? Well, they torture her, but not in the conventional way. The way they torture her is by emotionally making her give up and then go, all right, I'll talk as long as you give me food. That's why the food is over here, but it's not just food. There are also games and then stuff that you can poke other people about, like maybe giving them gift or giving them time to play, time to have fun. And then the reaction of the character is the reason why it's pretty funny, because it's another one of those Gap Moe things where it's a princess, it's a knight that is at the forefront of a war, but turns out she's just a normal girl like everyone else. And I do think it's pretty funny. I don't laugh though when I'm watching this. I just do the one of those exhale from the nose kind of thing. It is good. I do think it's a 7. Oh no, I'm not escaping the allegation like this. No! What is this ad? Okay, so I watched this. Listen. The romance story is good, okay? They can swap the guy out with a girl and the story would have been fine. It would have been great as well. So the story is basically like there is this guy, when he reached the age of 30, was granted the power of reading other people's mind, but only when he touches them. Surprisingly, at one point, he kind of like accidentally touched his coworker, and turns out, surprising to him, this coworker actually likes him. Basically, it's about him trying to find the feelings for the other guy, being built up in such a slow but cute way. So they don't rush things. They have a great plot point. It kind of escalates a bit by bit until they finally reach the climax or stuff like that, until he finally like understand his own feelings and then finally able to accept himself for being gay. I'm not. It's an 8 by the way. Story is good. Could have been faster though. Urusei Yatsura second season. Reason why I dropped this, it's boring. When the first season is kinda alright, it still follows a progression, but now it's just so episodic. Things happen. It's kinda like watching Tom and Jerry, which is kinda nice. I'm not gonna rate it because it's meh. It's okay. When I watch it, it's fun. When I don't mind. Sengoku Yoko. This is either a 6 or a 7. I think I will put this on a 7. So the story is basically about, there is a Katawara, I'm just gonna call it monsters now, demons, whatever. There is humans, there is monsters. There is a guy, just a very normal guy. He met with these 2 characters. This one is actually human, this one is a monster. Both of them, well, they have a goal of the girl is trying to make human and monster being able to live with each other. Yeah, it's very unrealistic, but while the other guy, this guy, which clearly doesn't seem human but is still human, this guy is trying to become a monster because he hates human. But that's beside the point. They all each has their own ideals. The reason why it's good is basically because it's a shonen adventure anime. The story is basically them fighting strong characters that are not only strong in power, but they also have interesting ideals that keep clashing with them. I cannot really explain much without spoiling, and I can only say that it's a okay shonen anime, and the story is also, the plot point is also very good, like the things that are happening. The only reason why it doesn't hit that hard The presentation is actually kind of bad. Like the animation is kind of rough. Not to mention that the pacing is a little bit rough. Like you know how shonen anime kind of builds everything up, even though they are sometimes too slow. But when things are hype, it's hype. This anime has hype moments, but the pacing makes everything looks goofy, even though they are like fighting to the death. So that's one of the reason why. Momochi-san. This one is interesting. I stopped watching it the first time because one, this is shoujo anime, which is, to be fair, I do watch shoujo anime. But the reason why I don't watch it again because it feels simple. Basically, this girl who doesn't have anything found out that she actually inherited a mansion. So she go to the house. Turns out the house is occupied by 3 persons until suddenly she found out that it's not a person. Those are demons as well. So many demons in this season. The demons are they don't want her here, but because she doesn't have anywhere else to go, she kept insisting on staying, and she tries to kick them off as well because it's her house, she inherited it. So there is like one demon, quote unquote demon, because this one is still a person. So she met this man who is clearly very attuned with the demon part of the gang, but he isn't rude like the other ones. He's very kind, very polite. That is until later that night she found out that the guy is actually a very special being that can turn into human and demon at the same time. Like this is his demon form, which is a very holy being. Because of that, she decides to just, I'm gonna live with the demons in this house. And that's where I dropped. The reason why is because it doesn't seem very interesting to me. It sounds like a very normal shoujo anime where she's trying to being able to be accepted by the others while accepting her new life and learning her new friends. That sounds interesting when I say it, but when it's being presented in such a slow and uninteresting way, High Cut is an interesting one because I do love it. I think 9 is too high. I think it's a 7. So High Cut is basically like there is this character who got these cards, that's in the name. The card gave them specific power. The powers are like JoJo version powers. It's very different. Some of them like being able to change face, some of them being able to be immortal. So it is interesting. It's an action anime, very fun, very high octane, especially when you consider the JoJo like characters, the one where character doesn't bound to be to numbers, so they kind of have to be creative with it. The only reason why this isn't as high is because when JoJo presenting it, they were so over the top. That's why it's so fun when something is happening, even though that something is so trivial. This anime does that. It's basically just a normal action anime with JoJo powers. The plot is also about, I don't think I can explain for the plot without spoiling, so I'll let you see for yourself if you like it or not. This is the second season anyway. The first season is also fun. Kingdom, this is easily 9. No, actually, this is an 8. This season so far isn't very interesting yet, except the last episode, which I think was the 10th episode or the 9th, I don't know. But this could have been easily a 9. I think it will be. So basically, the thing with Kingdom is it's a very strategic anime that kind of combines the high octane with the power of determination kind of thing with strategical warfare. It's basically like combining between Black Clover and what's a strategic anime? And Death Note. Basically like that. And the action scene, bro. The action scene is so hype. I don't think anyone wants to miss Kingdom. Kingdom is actually one of the anime that I could easily recommend to anyone. It's kind of like the Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen kind of thing where you really don't want to miss this. The number of season might scare you because season 5, wow, that's gotta be so long. I understand that. Which is why if you happens to looking for an anime that is hype, very shonen-ish, but also very strategical, very in-depth, I think Kingdom will be great. As long as you skip the 2 seasons. Season 1 and 2 is kinda rough. Shaman King I actually don't watch. Not even the first one. Pin no Michi, I don't know. What is this? Turns out not every anime I watch, huh? Oh, so it's basically a girls anime about mahjong. I think I understand the plot. It's basically a slice of life comedy, super natural. No, I'm pretty sure it's slice of life with a hint of comedy. I'm pretty sure the comedy is also not that fun, but I don't watch it. Art looks cool, but that score is super low. I don't watch this. I think I can just skip it. Why am I opening this? I watched this, the first episode at least. This is so weird. Gundam being very serious with the plot, the politics. this isn't like that. This is a mecha as well, by the way. But this is more like mecha met tokusatsu, not in a good way. Like, you know, sometimes how tokusatsu is doesn't take itself very seriously. This is like that. This is mecha, but it doesn't take itself very seriously. At the first episode, it was very heavy. There is people dying, and then the main character also was in this state of anxious position because, oh shit, people dies. He's in a fight against an alien, and then he doesn't know if he can survive or not. But then something came up. You know what came up? This robot, this sentient robot just came, transformer looking kind of thing. Like, you need to combine with me. We need to destroy the aliens. The anime turned from a dark, grim reality where people are dying into a very Power Ranger kind of thing, colorful things. It's basically like a childish. I thought it would take it very seriously from the first half of the episode, but turns out it's just like a Power Ranger Transformer kid show kind of thing. Even though there is still blood, it's just that it doesn't take itself seriously after that. Like, it's just goofy. It just shows up like that, kind of like Ultraman. Not the good Ultraman one, like the one where they come up in your weekly shows. Shin Duality Noir, I don't watch it. Action sci-fi, dim mecha. Whoa, why do I not watch this? Meiji Gekken. I think the only reason why I dropped this is because the plot is boring. Basically, it's a story about he's a samurai from an important group, but because the era has turned, he is now just working as a normal guy who carries a cart. But then he gets into a trouble where there is a case of murder and he got accused of it. Now he tries to find the real murderer, and I'm pretty sure there is like more mystery to it. But even the first episode is slow. Like, the things are happening in such a slow way, and then when stuff happens, it's not too big of a deal. Like, they don't show it like, I don't know who died, I don't know why they died, I don't know why this guy got accused. Although the interesting part is this guy is very strong. Hikari no O, I watched the first season. First episode dropped because it's a bit niche. It's a bit weird. It's about, actually I already forgot. I think there is like a shadow being who hunts on people. That's why people don't go outside without lights. And then this girl actually find a shadow being that is kind. I think that's the thing. Gekan Moso. This is bad. I think this is just horrible. I dropped it after the first episode. So it might sound interesting at first because it's basically a small publishing house that is publishing mystery stories. So you might think, oh, it's going to be episodic. Maybe they are going to solve cases, mystery. Yeah, it does sound like that. They do solve mystery, but the way they present it again is being very childish. Things happen so fast, and then it just, oh, this happens, and then, oh no, they got defeated. Oh, they got sent out Team Rocket style into the sky. This guy also turned into a fucking tiger, I think, out of nowhere. The first half of the first episode is kinda interesting because they are still building up. I'm still on my suspension of disbelief. But when things starts happening, it's just, nah. This is also so weird. Another weird things again. Everything is bad. The animation is bad. The narrative, the story is bad. Because this is first, it's an episodic comedy anime. And the comedy style is basically derived from the culture of a bar life with Japanese snack bar. The comedy is basically around that part. The people they know talk about their lives. It's very lifelike. It's not that funny. It's just boring. The setup is too long, and then the payoff isn't worth it. It's not Grand Blue, definitely. I don't know this comedy fantasy anime. Oh, so that's why they got bad score. Only for me, usually a short anime isn't really that popular. Yamishibai, I don't watch Prekirdo. Vanguard, I also don't watch Vanguard. Oh, thank God we're finishing up. I thought I have to do this all day. No, let me finish this first. Harimawe, I don't watch. This I also don't watch. I don't watch this too. So yeah, there is quite a few things that I still don't watch. But still, I do watch more anime than the normal people do watch. Don't you agree? In any case, this is tiring. Should I do the continuing TV series? I'm just gonna do it like quickly. I watch this. This is great. Story great. I watched this is also great. Story great. Very strategic, talkative, very fun. This is also great. Story great, very fun, very action. Shangri-La is also, it's not great, I would say it's just good. Compared to Undead Unluck, oh my god, what does people see in Shangri-La? Undead Unluck is practically better than Shangri-La, I think. I mean, I rate them both 8, but I don't think Shangri-La is that hype. It's kind of like an anime about gaming, so I kind of know that of course he's gonna win. Like, I mean, practically that could be said about any anime, but that depends on how much the character growth. Like in a game, you usually cannot show character growth because the character stays the same. They just plays a game character. That's why there is no game character growth in this. Undead Unluck though, there is like plot twists happening. Ragnar Crimson, I watch it. It's great. Plot is great, very shonen anime, very action filled. I think this is actually better than Shangri-La. I think I will rate Shangri-La is a 7 and Ragnar Crimson is an 8. It's very good. The only bad thing about this anime is the animation. Ironic, I know. Especially this anime needs an action scene so bad. I don't think I watch anything else. Continuing. Yeah, well, I guess that's that. Interestingly enough, that was all I can do. 2 hours. Well, thanks for... I should have just played game instead. But I'll see you later. What the fuck, Gundam shit? Hey, I don't know how many of you have gone this far. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. This week has been a lot. I thought I'd make YouTube easier by streaming something that can be translated directly to YouTube. But this is ass, bro. Why do I talk so much? Again, thank you so much for hanging till the ending. I hope to see you again. See ya.